and welcome to 𝗩𝗵𝗱𝗲𝗂𝗋𝗆𝑠.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today, we're going to talk about rubber tree plant care. I love the rubber tree. It's so easy to grow. This is Henry, who's in my root rot series. I rescued him from root rot, and you can see his story in the playlist below. Rubber trees, botanically known as Ficus Elastica, are popular houseplants because of their waxy leaves and larger-than-life appearance. Rubber trees can grow up to 100 feet or more in their native habitat of Southeast Asia, but as houseplants, they generally grow from 6 to 10 feet or a little bit taller. The leaves come in various shades of green, with some including a burgundy color, which can often be found on the underside of the leaves. They earned their name from the fact that their leaves are pretty big and shiny and rubbery looking, and the fact that those leaves contain a latex-like sap. So how to grow these plants, how to provide them with the best care so that they grow healthy and happy for you. First is light. Rubber trees prefer bright, indirect light that isn't too hot. So you do want to keep them away from direct hot sunlight, as you might find in front of western windows, because that will scorch their leaves. If you only have western windows, grow them 2 or 3 feet back from the window. It's also good if the window has a curtain on it or blinds or something along those lines. Southern and eastern windows are good choices for rubber trees as well, where they'll get a nice light. And they also do really well under full spectrum lighting. And as I always mention, there's plenty of full spectrum lighting products on the market today, so there's really no reason why you can't give your rubber tree some really good lighting so that it grows nice and strong and healthy. Watering your rubber tree. So rubber trees tend to be fairly heavy drinkers. This is especially the case during their active growth time, spring through early fall. On the moisture meter, you want the gauge to go to about 4. When it gets to about 4, it's time to water your rubber tree. 3 is dry. You don't want to get to 3 because the rubber trees, that when they don't get enough water, especially if the soil really dries out, they may drop leaves. So you want to try to avoid that. But as mentioned, you don't want to overwater, as happened with Henry by the person who had him before. So keep that in mind, that you want to be around the 4, which is a real safe place to be with the moisture meter. Also, the first inch to 2 inches has dried out. That's another indicator as well. When you do water, you want to use warm to tepid water, not cold water. Using cold water, and I do have a video on this, will cause root dieback, and it can also cause spotting on leaves. It's too much of a shock for the plant's system. So warm to tepid water whenever you water. Fertilizing your rubber tree. You want to fertilize monthly, spring through early fall. Use an organic fertilizer. I do have an organic product, my Green Gourmet Houseplant Food. I'll put a link below. Organics are a safer option than chemical fertilizers because organics tend to not burn plant roots. Chemical fertilizers are notorious for burning plant roots. You burn plant roots, you have root dieback, and then you can also end up with root rot in that cycle. So fertilize, as mentioned, monthly. This will keep your rubber tree very happy and full of good nutrients for really good growth. In terms of temperatures, rubber trees generally prefer 60 to 75 degrees. So that's a common range, and that's Fahrenheit, and that's a common range for most homes. If your house is a lot colder than that, though, you may get a little leaf drop from the plant because it's too cold. So if so, try to get it to a warmer area. You can also use a seedling mat underneath the pot, which will keep the roots and the soil warm, which can also help with that if your home is on the colder side. However, if you are trying to get the plant warmed up, be careful not to put it underneath a heating vent, as that will dry out the leaves. So heating vents and heating, fine, just don't have the leaves in the line of fire in terms of that. When you do any pruning on your rubber tree, which you may have to do now and then to keep it within bounds if it's getting very big, do keep in mind that the sap, that latex-like sap I mentioned, can be irritating to some people's skin. So do wear gloves when you are doing any pruning at all. Pests and diseases. So rubber trees aren't too much of a magnet for pests and diseases. Every once in a while you may see some scale, you may see a little mealybug, but because their foliage is very thick, those types of pests and other pests just don't generally get a real good foothold, so to speak, on your plants. They usually go for other types of plants. If you do see, however, any pests or diseases, do get rid of them right away, because you don't want something to start, even if it could be minor. It could also spread to your other plants as well. They would need repotting because they are a fairly quick grower, not really fast, but fairly quick grower, especially if you're taking good care of them and feeding them. They will need repotting every 1 to 2 or 3 years. So keep that in mind. When repotting, use a nice water retentive yet well-draining soil. I'll put some links below for some good ones there as well. And that is about it for how to keep your rubber tree healthy and happy for you. Please let me know if you have any questions about your rubber trees or any other plant questions in the comments below. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.